I must warn you, this video is going to be extremely raw and honest. And that's probably the most vulnerable and open I've ever been over 8 years of being on social media. I've personally have been re-evaluating this whole Instagram game. That's probably the reason why I haven't posted in over a week. I think the world desperately needs some honesty, which is such a bloody rare thing these days. And I thought I would just start with myself, because if you want to change something, that's where you begin usually. I named this video what being a single mom is really like, and this is pretty much going to be a hectic monologue by myself. Just starting from the story, how Leon came into this world up until this very moment right now. I was 22 when I got married. I'm 33 now, and after about a year my then husband suggested we have a child, because almost all our friends were having babies at that point, and it was, you know, a logical thing, especially for an Eastern European culture, just, you know, to have kids. You get married, you have kids, and any other scheme of things is being highly judged by society, and like I think it causes a lot of misunderstandings, a lot of questions, and a lot of disappointment from the older generation. If you are from the Eastern European country, you will definitely be able to relate. Anyway, I didn't think whether I was ready to have kids or whether I wanted to have a child. All I knew, I was in love and my husband wants a son, so it was just a logical thing to do. And when I was 24, I got pregnant, and it was beautiful actually. We found out we were having a boy, and we were like on cloud 9. Everything seemed so perfect, but then when I was 6 months pregnant, I lost this child. I can talk about it now because it's been such a long time, but back then I just locked myself inside. I didn't want to leave the house, I didn't want to talk to anyone. I think just thanks to my ex-husband, we just overcome this whole thing together and we moved forward, and 2 years later we were blessed with a healthy boy who we named Leon. We moved to Australia when he was only 4 months. There were no friends, no relatives, no family. Leon was always crying. He was like waking up 5 to 6 times a night up until the moment he turned 2. He was such a hectic, not so perfect and convenient kid. And my husband was rarely there, and I don't blame him, because if I had a chance to escape the house from a constantly crying baby and a depressed wife. Привет. Что ты хочешь мыслить?
Просто посмотреть.
Посмотреть?
Что это?
Что это? Видео?
Да, и Антин делишь, потому что я cute.
Too cute у меня.
Потому что я слишком.
Ты too cute.
Ну.
Что-нибудь тебе сделать? Хочешь что-нибудь?
Ага.
Что ты хочешь? Может быть, яблочко лучше? Ну давай, я порежу тебе. Leon has been sick for the past 6 days, so he's staying home, and he claims that he actually loves being sick. I think I loved being sick when I was a child too. Fast forward 2 years, we decided to go separate ways, and my ex-husband moved back to Russia, and he asked me if I would love to move back as well, because it will be easier for me, and Leon. But I wanted a better life for my son, and I knew, even though I was a happy kid growing up in Russia, mainly because I didn't know any better, I think, I knew that Australia is such a great place and such a great and safe place for my child. Plus, we made such a huge effort to move to this country for a reason, and I just didn't want to give up that easily, so I chose the tough way, and my journey as a single mother has officially begun. And boy, it was fucking hard. So hard, I can't even explain it. Leon wasn't even 3 back then, it was just me and him. Probably only someone who's been through the same situation will understand. I started working at the gym. I tried to stay positive as much as I could. However, pretty much for 2 years straight, my bedtime routine included me crying myself to sleep and feeling sorry for myself. I just couldn't help it. But then in the morning I was putting this brave face back on and was ready to tackle the day. A lot of people were actually asking me, how do you do that? But back then I just didn't even think, oh, how am I doing that? I just was bloody doing it, because if it wasn't me, then nobody else would, you know, do that for me. Luckily, my amazing mom, she still lives in Russia. She was visiting us relatively often, and that helped me to stay half sane, because back then, when Leon was younger, he had a lot of health issues. He had 2 surgeries for his ears and his throat. He had a speech delay, and he was going through the process of being diagnosed for autism. Plus, then I was only 30. Well, now I think I was only 30. After an 8-year-long marriage, of course, I still wanted to stay social, look after myself. I didn't want to forget that I'm still a female. And above all, of course, I had to be a provider for my little family. Now I can admit I wasn't enjoying motherhood at all. Every damn day I had this weird mix of feelings of not wanting to be there and feeling constantly guilty for that. I felt hopeless, helpless, and the worst mother ever. I had a lot of arguments with my mom, and because of that, she thought that I need to give everything up and just dedicate my whole life to Leon, which I thought I did, and every time I was doing something for myself, I just felt extremely guilty and ashamed of it. Like, be it a work trip or a date I went on or a mini vacation I took by myself, everything was just sprinkled with guilt and grief. Last year was quite eventful for me. From 2 months I had to take off for filming The Bachelor. I was away for 2 months while my mom was looking after Leon, to launching my own fitness programs and having to be away for work quite often. I hardly was present with Leon. Now I know that I was never present with him. Even when I physically was there sitting down with him, my mind was wandering. I was always thinking, oh God, I could be there doing those things. I could be there shooting, filming, creating this content. I could be doing something more fulfilling rather than just, you know, doing something I actually don't even feel like doing. It's like sometimes you want escape, sometimes you want a little bit of time for yourself, but you don't have this luxury here in my situation. And it was only at the end of April this year it hit me. I raised a boy, a 6-year-old boy, almost all by myself, but I never actually enjoyed it. Never tried to look at this world through his eyes, never tried to sit down with him and, like, you know, just be completely immersed in the moment, be fully present without having to think about the bills I have to pay, without the things I'm gonna do next, without thinking about my problems. Like, I never had an opportunity to thoroughly enjoy being a mother. Sometimes I was even giving my love and soul to completely wrong people, and I was completely neglecting this most important human being in my life. And whether it was this realization or just the fact that Leon was older, this wise, tiny little human, grown-up human, I could have a nice philosophical conversation with, or it was just the combination of everything. The last 2 months were really life-changing for us. We weren't doing anything extraordinary, but everything we did together, Leon had my full undivided attention and my entire presence being at that moment. To the point I stopped worrying about what I love doing the most, creating content for Instagram, and I was just totally enjoying being a mother. I actually finally realized, why do people actually have kids? Of course, it's not all roses. Of course, it still gets hard, but we're like seriously best friends I've always wanted for us to be. Well, I have to get back to my content thing, because that's something I'm doing for myself, and that's something I'm so lucky to call my job as well. But it's going to probably be slightly different, more real. Well, even though I've been trying to be more real on social media lately, and I think you've noticed as well, because I've been getting so many messages thanking me for being so authentic, honest, and real. I think I'll just keep doing that. And it's really amazing to realize that I might help someone who is going through some tough life situation without me even knowing that. I seriously love getting messages like that. Thank you so much for them. And you know, I thought we can take it even further, and we can create a little girls group here. So if you want me to elaborate on a specific subject, on a specific topic, please feel free to leave a comment here, and I will be more than happy to help you. Subscribe to my channel here, and I promise to post at least once a week.